My name is Johannesburg, and my partner Romo and I are, we feel that women should be at the house taking care of the kids and pretty much just taking care of the kids and take care of the house. And the reason why we feel this way is because recently my mom found these old tapes in our in the cabinets in our house, and she took them to Walmart and they put them on DVDs, and we finally ended up watching them about 2 weeks ago. And it was all videos about me and my brother when we were little kids growing up, starting with when I was a baby to about when I was about 6 years old. And especially when I was about at least 2, my mom was following me with the camera asking me, Johannesburg, what are your ABCs? How many fingers am I holding up? Questions like that. And I was looking at my mom's face, like, you really did this. And I could see in her face that she had this happiness about it, that she was actually got to be able to spend time with me growing up. And just watching those moments, and there she had this connection with me. And if she was to go to work and to put me in a daycare, she would never have these memorable moments that she does have now. And I remember my mom telling me that there was an opportunity. She did put me in a daycare when I was about 1 year old. And she said she felt like when she was at work that she was always nervous and she didn't want to put me in, but my dad was like, yo, put him in the daycare. We need to work. And my mom was like, no, I can't do this. I need to take care of my kid. And for me, I think if she never did that, we would not have the connection we have now, and she would never benefit from the memorable times that we had together. And that's why one of the reasons we think that females should be at the house, because it's a benefit for you. And it's kind of hard to understand how that feels unless you have a child. And it's something that men don't have, because men tend to be a little more forceful and less patient or compassionate, but women have that, and yeah, that's what we think.
Alright, so we've just heard my opponent talk about how he feels that since I'm a woman, I'm compassionate, and first off, I'll be the first one to tell you that I am not a compassionate person. I am cut and dry, black and white, I take after my father, and I absolutely have almost zero compassion for people, and and it's just the way that I am, and I'm a woman, so excuse me, but it's not everyone, and I believe that that's a stereotype. And actually what we have up here is what we call a gender norm, and a gender norm is actually really, really hurting our society, and it is killing our youth's freedom. I want you guys to all think about a little girl that you know. Think about a niece, a little sister, a younger girl, cousin. For all the women in the room, think about yourself as a little girl. Now, when we were younger, the teacher asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up, and we all gave an answer. So think back to that little girl, and when she tells you that she wants to be a doctor, or a veterinarian, or a cowgirl, or whatever it is that she said she wanted to be, go ahead and tell her that she can't. Or tell her that she can, but only until she's about 25 or 26, and at that point, which is when most women in the United States will have their first child, because at that point they have to be a mother. It doesn't really matter if they want to be a mother, it doesn't matter if they want to just stay at home. They're a woman, and therefore they're better at that. And they're probably better at that than they are at their job. So, and I'm not saying that I don't understand the whole women raise the kids thing, because that's how I was raised. And that's how my mother was raised by her mother before her, and it just goes on and on and on. For an entire bloodline, I have none of my grandparents, great-grandparents, none of the women have ever worked. They've all raised the children. And I am one of 5 girls. And it's really, really prevalent to me, I think, these differences when you're introduced to, like say we're at church and it's like the whole group of us and we're meeting a new adult, and that person says, oh, all girls? Oh, your poor father. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that, your poor father. My poor father? Excuse me? Why my poor father? What makes women so much less valuable than men are? A family full of boys, it's, oh, we expect to see great things, and a family of girls that's a lot of weddings to pay for. I've never heard anything other than that's a lot of weddings to pay for from anyone, ever. And that really says something about our society. So to say that women automatically should raise children instead of working is really to say that women have less of a right to be in the workplace than men do. And I think that this is a sad used up an outdated notion that no reasonable person in this day and age should be able to say that holds any truth in our society.
Hi guys. Well, first of all, I think the stereotyping that there's some stereotyping like still going on in society, but that's just something of the past. I know that there is still some, but that's just something of the past that has been changing. Nowadays I see like more women that are leading like countries and all that stuff. Like in America, we got presidents who are females. So I think that's just a stereotype that is gonna change eventually, or it has been changing. It's gonna grow more. I think the I didn't take notes. Come back.
Alright, so I have some facts and statistics to share with you all, and all this came from the New York Times. The Department of Education statistics show that men, whatever their race or socioeconomic group is, are less likely than women to get a bachelor's degree. And among those who do, fewer complete their degree in 4 to 5 years. Men also get worse grades than women. Another statistic. It's not that men are in a downward spiral. They're going to college in greater numbers and are more likely to graduate than 2 decades ago. Still, men now only make up 42% of the nation's college students. And with sex discrimination fading and their job opportunities widening, women are coming on much stronger, often leapfrogging men to academic finish. Another one. At Harvard, 55% of women graduate with honors this spring, compared with barely half of men. And at Florida Atlantic University in Baco, a public university, women made up 64% of this year's graduates, and they got 75% honors degrees and 79% of the highest honors. Do you still think that men deserve to be in the workplace over women?
Technically, Rachel gets a rebuttal, and then you have the final say.
Okay.
Oh, well, that was our...
Yeah, but you're the leader, so you get to wrap up your side of the issue.
Oh, they don't...
And then they're
we're just going to wrap up?
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just close with one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite people, and that's Albert Einstein. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when we created them. I think that this is something that's really, really relevant to today, because we cannot keep going on the way that we have been with the same mindset that, you know, women are supposed to do this and men are supposed to do this, because it's obviously not working. Times are changing, things are changing, and if we don't change our mindset, then we will not progress.
Okay. One thing I want to say is that our opponents did say things are changing, and they have. Let's think. One time women weren't allowed to vote, but now they can. And they are able to work, but they're complaining about I guess they feel like they don't have enough rights, and